Keegan and I believe in this concept of the everything athlete, which means that we can run really fast and run really well, but we cannot be pigeonholed within that, because then we just start getting so good at this one thing that we lose sight of all the things that got us there, like you with the basketball and just the basis of whether it's foot strength or hand coordination or whole body movements or coming out of a running position, you know? Coming out of a running position helps your running. So that's what we strive for, to teach and to give people, is like, you can be this really good runner, but if you are just singularly a runner and training only as a runner, then you will just be in that pigeonhole. You might get really good, which is great, but when you start becoming fragile, you start, you know, ignoring cues like looking at your feet and say, oh, what, this foot is completely different than the other one. You know, I used to have really strong feet, I used to jump really high and all this stuff. And when the body, going back to just like in basketball, the body's moving as one single unit, we're not just in this fixed position, then we can go to running, and then the skill set is be in this fixed position, have a certain amount of tension, be within this in this gait, but it's not the only thing we work on, you know. So yeah, very, very important. That's what we're doing here, dude. What difference do you feel in your feet today?
Just the gripping.
Yeah.
Even on my left foot, I grip normally, or a lot more grip on this one. I noticed I was gripping the ground a lot more.
Nice, man.
And then, yeah, my right one, definitely around my arch, my big toe was gripping a little bit better. And then it seemed like when I did that, my hamstring engaged better. And then when I adjusted my shoulder position on my left, it's like, then it also helped my foot and leg. And it's just like, it forced my leg, my right leg to work more. And that's what's...
If we work backwards from the foot, the hamstring, the hip, the shoulder, all this, to me, this all starts because we have had some sort of thing that made us protective enough to where we had to do something weird with the foot, maybe turn it off, maybe in your case like turn it off and roll it way to the outside with no activation. You know, that's all based on previous injury. Your body didn't just come up with that out of nowhere. So then we start reversing, like reverse engineering the body all the way to before the first big injury that changed our sort of naturally given and genetic timings and patterns and gaits and all that. We reverse all the way back to that. It's still in there, we just have to bring it out. So we work straight from the foot, easy, look at how the foot's developed, and then we start seeing. Isn't it crazy when you squeeze your toes, all of a sudden we can pull from the hamstring? Yeah. And then the shoulder, and then you're like, oh, the mid-back, what is this mid-back situation?
That's what I noticed the most on the stride. When I pulled the shoulders down and I engaged more my arms, I just felt this go.
That's why when you see people go from longer distance, even longer distance people have good like spine erectors and mid-back, but when you go down, it almost gets stronger and stronger. That rear chain gets stronger and stronger, especially in the back. The shorter the distance, the faster the sprinter. So it's just like I was saying earlier with the internal and external rotation, which is, well, if great endurance athletes have great internal rotation and great sprinters have great external rotation, well then if you want to run faster, doesn't it make sense to first gain some external rotation? Same thing. Let's look at it. Let's look at what a person that's faster, that can hold position well, what do they have, and then let's just try and mimic that body slightly in position and in tension. And then you're all of a sudden like, oh wow, things are like really coming together in terms of speed. Well, you didn't do like 6 months of speed work. You just turned things on and reminded the body of what it has, you know? Feet first. Yeah. Bro, so many seconds to be had. Yeah. So much glory. Awesome, man. Very exciting, very exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited just to, you know, I still have plenty of time here, and it's like, it's just got to get that muscle memory down a little bit, and that, it's like the coordination, the skill. And once I can get my body used to that and lock that in, then it's like muscle memory, and it's...
Dude, you sound like you know your stuff.
Well, hey, I had a good mentor, you
You
know?
sound like you've been highly dedicated to trusting in a process.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you're
really,
good.
like, it takes time, but if you just stay consistent with it,
Yeah.
you just do it every day, and, you know,
Yeah.
you don't think it happens, but then over time you look at it like, oh yeah, it is happening.
Yeah.
Oh, it is working now.
Well, if it's your dream, it's easy to do every day, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It makes running fun.
Woo! So what we'll do is we'll go home. We'll part ways for lunch,
Okay.
and then 12:30, maybe like 4 o'clock. We'll get together and go to the gym.
That works for me.
Does that work? 4 is good.
Yep.
Sweet.